Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Pup. We are back with another draft analysis for the LPDL Season 3 Low Tier division. We are doing two divisions, VGC and Low Tier. I'm playing in both of them, and I'm really excited for this one. Little Cup, obviously. That's our whole thing with this league, but then it's lower tier Pokemon. So, we're not seeing any Mienfoos, we're not seeing any Ghastlies, we're not seeing anything like that. Just a little bit lower tier Pokemon. Not crazy because there's not like a crazy variety of Little Cup Pokemon in general. But more of like what you expect when you see like the other popular low tier leagues. It's not really low tier, it's kind of like a mid tier sort of thing. Yeah, we have 14 coaches this season, a lot of really fun people. A lot of my like really close draft friends are all in here. So check out the links in the description to everyone's channels. It's not everyone that's playing, but it's a lot of people across both divisions that should be uploading a decent amount throughout the entire season. I'm going to try to upload on Saturdays, and everyone else hopefully will as well, but who knows. But with this season, I didn't draft. If you guys don't know, I recently got engaged, so my fiance decided that she wanted to pick all of the Pokemon for me for this league, which I think is going to be super duper fun. But it's making a not so great team. So let's start off with, I'm not going to go in order of how she picked them because I got a tier 4 like in the first round, which it is what it is. But my tier 1 Pokemon, because we did tiers like 1 tier 1, 2 tier 2s, 3 tier 3s, 3 tier 4s, and a tier 5. So we got Hippopotas, actually a very solid Pokemon in general. I'm actually like a big fan of this guy. Here, let me move my face cam, get it out of the way for you guys. Yeah, we can put it down here. That should be better. But we got Hippo. Basically, this Pokemon is really fat. It has 78 defense, 72 attack. I mean, it's really nice, decent HP. And with the sand, setting up the sand, you get a lot of chip. It's not like a great speed tier, not like great special defense, but the rest of the stats are really solid. And like with a Choice Scarf, this Pokemon can actually be fast. You can get yourself up to like 13 with a Choice Scarf. You're getting up to 19 then, which is pretty fast, especially for low tier. There's not a lot of Pokemon that get up there because I think there's only like one Pokemon that gets to 20. So really solid in general, and it just gets to spam stuff like Earthquake. It's really strong. It gives me a nice Stealth Rocker off the bat, and then we have Slack Off for if we want to be bulky at all. So really strong moves off the bat. You also have stuff like Rock Slide, I think is solid. Yawn is really good as well for some utility. And then you have stuff like Ice Fang, Fire Fang, Crunch, Body Press. Those sort of coverage options are really strong here. You also have Whirlwind if you need it. There's some other fun stuff down the board that you might see us use throughout the whole season, but it's a really fun Pokemon, and I'm actually pretty excited to use this guy. I was very happy when she picked this one. But next up, my first tier 2 is going to be Blitzel. So this is one of the faster Pokemon in the format. We get up to 18 with like a timid or jolly nature, which is nice. You have decent attack and special attack. I mean, let me get rid of this. And yeah, you see like very decent on those stats, right? But the defenses leave a lot to be desired. You also have Lightning Rod and Sap Sipper, so you have 2 immunities. I think Cart used this in season 1 as a Terra Captain. It was really strong, so I'm excited for it. Has stuff like Flame Charge, Trailblaze to be able to hit with some coverage on the physical side, and Low Kick as well, which is not quite so good. And then Supercell Slam, whatever, if you want to use it physically. You also have stuff like Thunderbolt if you want to use it on the special side. Don't really have any other coverage on the special side, unfortunately, because you are not a Terra Captain. But it still can run that way because Thunderbolt is just so strong. And it's very spammable when there's like just not that many ground types, because usually the ground types are pretty solid in Little Cup. So yeah, very good Pokemon in general. It's nice to have some speed. I was really worried I wasn't going to get any speed on this, but to be able to have something that's going to be able to outrun like most everyone's teams, force a lot of Choice Scarfs, then I'm really happy about it. Then my next Pokemon, let me remember. Yes, this is a really fun Pokemon that I'm excited to use. This is Teddy Ursa. So this Pokemon's great with the Quick Feed ability. You run like a Toxic Orb on this guy. If they don't have a Ghost type, then you can freely run like a Flame Orb, so you're taking a little bit less damage. Though if this Pokemon status, you get 1.5 times speed, so you basically get a Choice Scarf on this. and then you run Facade, and it's incredibly strong versus everything. You also have great coverage. You have stuff like Close Combat, Ice Punch, Gunk Shot. You have Trailblaze, Thunder Punch, Rock Slide, Play Rough, Earthquake, everything. Like, this Pokemon has a crazy amount of coverage. It's awesome, and it just hits like an absolute truck. I wish it had a little bit of any way to set up your special or your physical attack. You have Bulk Up, gonna be hard to get that off. Like a Swords Dance or something would have been crazy on the Sky to get your like Toxic Orb boost on that same turn, but this is gonna be a sweeper for sure. Your attack being 80 base is really strong, and then your stats across the board are pretty solid. You have exactly enough speed with like a Jolly Nature that with a choice, or with your Choice Scarf boost, with your 1.5 times boost from a Quick Feet, you're outspeeding everything base. Like, nothing outruns you. You have a lot of just, you know, straight up attack in general, and then you have, you know, EVs that you can spread throughout everything else. Make yourself decently bulky as well, so it's not going to go down to one hit even after a couple of Toxic Orb you know, chips. So I think this Pokemon is going to be really good, and I'm very excited to use it. Next up, our first tier 3 Pokemon is going to be our first Terra Captain. Our Terra Captains are either a tier 3 and a tier 5 or 2 tier 4s. So we got Turtwig, and this Pokemon does not have Shell Smash, unfortunately, but it can't be crit with Shell Armor, or you can run Overgrow, blah blah blah. Yeah, so no Shell Smash. That move is out of here, which is totally fine because this Pokemon can still do a lot of work without it. You have lots of great coverage options. I mean, Bullet Seed is really good with like a loaded dice, and we can run Eviolite on these guys, which makes this guy a little bit stronger. Because last season we couldn't run Eviolite on the Terra Captains. This season we can, since they're just a little bit worse. But you have a lot of great options for setting up your defenses. You have Amnesia, you have Curse, which raises your attack and defense. So you have Amnesia plus Curse plus something like Synthesis, Leech Seed maybe. You get your health back. You run an Eviolite on this guy. Bullet Seed does a ton of damage, being a multi-hit move. And then you can turn your type into whatever you want. Any great defensive typings, Dragon, Fairy, Water, stuff like that is going to be really strong. And then your stats are like solid in general. You have decent defenses, but when you're boosting these up, when you are clicking Amnesia, getting your ×2 boost, when you can never be crit through that, and with your Eviolite, this Pokemon is going to be absolutely insane this season. I think this Pokemon is going to win a lot of games for us. I'm really excited for Turtwig, and it's just a cutie. I mean, that's why Kate picked him, of course. Next up is a Pokemon that I hated on a lot in the last season. Tom had it. I hated it a ton. I can't type it. It's called FIANCEE. This Pokemon doesn't really have much of an ability. The stats are like solid. Your HP is nice. Your attack and defense are solid. The rest of it leaves a lot to be desired. But you are a ground type, and you spam 100 base power Earthquakes, which is really strong. You also have stuff like Trailblaze. So you're able to boost your speed without having to commit to a Choice Scarf. You can run more defensive. You have Ice Shard, so you have a great priority, which is really nice. And then you have stuff like Knockoff. You have stuff like Play Rough. You have stuff like Rock Slide. You have Seed Bomb. You have a lot of different options for what you want to run. Gunk Shot, Head Smash, Iron Head. You have a crazy amount of options for coverage on this guy, so it's going to be crazy. It gives us another Stealth Rocker, and just a solid Pokemon in general. You have like even some utility moves like Encore, Roar, Substitute, Setup. You know, you can do whatever you want with this guy. I'm very excited to be able to use him. He's just a cute little guy too. Everyone on my team has been cute little guys so far, and that'll mostly continue except for our next pick, really. But yeah, very solid in general. I think that I'm going to have a fun time using FIANCEE, and it's nice to have the double grounds. Usually I struggle to get a good ground in my drafts, but double grounds here I think is going to be really good. I do think there's going to be like a decent amount of grass types because they're just normally worse, so in low tier they're going to be here. So you know, if I'm able to break through a ground type, then break through a grass type, then both my ground types are going to be able to go crazy. All right, moving on to the next Pokemon on my team. The last tier 3 is going to be the Galarian Slowpoke. So this guy is not very cute in my opinion. Kate has her own ideas. Move Regen. A lot of these Pokemon love to use Eviolite, and Slowpoke is no exception to that. Really wants to use it because of the regen and everything. Has solid stats throughout. I mean, special attack and special defense, obviously speed doesn't matter, but attack and defense are pretty solid for sure. And this guy wants to be a physical attacker. His moveset doesn't really lend to that, but you do have some stuff. You have stuff like Earthquake, which is really solid. Zen Headbutt if you want to run some sort of a psychic move. I think Trick Room is going to be really solid in this season to be able to set that. We don't have stuff like the Chilly Reception, so we can't switch out to our other Pokemon so easily. But this guy's really slow, and it's going to be able to do a lot of damage. The defensive Pokemon do a lot of damage in Little Cup, so that's going to be pretty solid. Then you have other options. You have stuff like T-Wave. You have stuff like Slack Off. You have any sort of special move. You have Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump. Like so many options. Obviously, like your Psychic, that sort of stuff. Calm Minds, if you want to do anything like that. Goes crazy. If you want a little bit more utility, you have stuff like Yawn. I think Trick is also going to be really solid if I want to run some sort of choice item. Pawn that off on something, try to steal an Eviolite. It's going to be really solid. And then like down here at the end, Belly Drum. Don't sleep on Belly Drum Slowpoke. It actually can be very solid with like an Oranberry to get yourself back up to full. Under Trick Room, this guy will absolutely destroy every single Pokemon in its path. So I think Slowpoke is going to be really fun to use. Maybe not like the cutest Pokemon, so it doesn't really fit in with the team as well. But it was, I think, our last pick. So it was just what was left on the board at that point. Now let's go on to some next Pokemon. Let me delete a couple of these guys. You guys know who I have. So next up was going to be our first round pick. And it had to be Mudkip. I mean, this guy is so cute. He's a tier 4. He's just an awesome little guy. Look at him. He's so cute. He's so cute. But unfortunately with Mudkip, he doesn't get like a physical ground move. Your physical attack is 70, which is quite good actually. For a Little Cup Pokemon, you don't get a physical, you don't get great physical stab at all. I mean, you have Liquidation. I guess you're not a ground type, so it's not stab. So you have Liquidation if you want to run physical, and then like Rock Slide. But that's about it that you're hitting from the physical side. If you want to run special, you have stuff like Hydro Pump or Surf. You have Ice Beam, Earth Power, Sludge Wave even as some good coverage, Ancient Power sort of stuff. So you don't have like the craziest move options. You don't even have Stealth Rocks, but you do have some fun moves like Roar, Yawn, blah, blah, blah. So you can do some stuff. If you want to run a physical ground move, you can run Dig, like Power Herb Dig could be solid. But I think this Pokemon's going to be fun to use when I use it. It doesn't have that many fun things going for it, but I mean, I can run a Mirror Coat set. I can do something fun with that. I can run like a Curse variant on this guy if I really wanted to. I mean, it has some options for sure. I can try to go for Ancient Power boosts. I can do stuff like that. And Water is just a very spammable attack in Little Cup. So I think it will be usable for sure. Not sure if it's the Pokemon that I really, really want to use, but I'm going to have to. And he's cute, so I got to give it to him. All right, next up is going to be Goomy in the brain. It's like Goomy in the drain. That's the only reason she picked this Pokemon, just because of that song, because I have it in our playlist that we listen to like every single day in the car. But this guy's got Sap Sipper, so he's got an immunity, great resistances with the Dragon type, and just very spammable attacks. I mean, decent stats across the board. The defense is not that great, but besides that, I mean, special defense is nice, and the attacks are great. This guy spams Draco Meteor. You also have some other great coverage options. Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave as your other special options. You have stuff like Chilling Water or Muddy Water as your water moves for it. You have some other fun stuff too, like Mud Shot if you need to ever, hit like a Steel type or anything like that. So you do have coverage for that. Doesn't really do too much besides spamming all these moves, but there's just no switching to Pokemon that can click Draco Meteor, right? You run like a Choice Specs on this Pokemon, even a Choice Scarf, run a Life Orb maybe even, or you just run this thing more defensive. If the Pokemon aren't doing too much damage to you, you can run Life Dew. It only heals you 25%, but that actually can out heal some Pokemon in this. We'll see what happens with that. I also think what's going to be fun is like Endure plus Salic Berry. Endure plus Salic Berry or Endure Custap is going to be really strong with this Pokemon, just so you're able to click those Draco Meteors all the time. All right, next Pokemon on the team is going to be our last tier 4, which is going to be Tepig. Just a cutie. I mean, you got to give it to her. She picked a lot of cute Pokemon for this team. This has Thick Fat, so 4 times resist to ice and fire is really, really nice. And it has a lot of great options here. I mean, you have some decent, like, all right stats, especially for a tier 4. I mean, having decent amount of speed, and you can boost that with the combination of Flame Charge or Trailblaze. So you have those physical options, and then you have good coverage on the physical side. You click Head Smash, you have Wild Charge. Obviously, you have like Flare Blitz. You even have stuff like Stomping Tantrum, Sucker Punch, Superpower. So you have a lot of great physical options to be able to just blow through a team. You can run a little bit more defensive or utility. Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Yawn sort of stuff can be really, really good here. So yeah, you have a lot of these great options. It's a really strong offensive Pokemon, and with those 4 times resistances, you can get it in pretty easily on any ice type really, and then threaten it with a Flame Charge. You get the free boost, and nothing can really switch into you. The water types are a little bit of an issue, which is why you can, tech on Trailblaze, tech on Wild Charge, do stuff like that, and it can be a really solid Pokemon. So I think I'll be using this actually more than I thought I would, even before recording this. I actually didn't know that it had that much different coverage and that many good use cases. And then last but not least is going to be our tier 5 and our final Terra Captain, Pichu. I mean, come on, this guy is so cute, right? Gives us another electric immunity. I mean, that makes 4 on our team, which is kind of crazy. Electric is a really good type, and they're fast, so I mean, it's annoying. So being a Terra Captain, I can obviously click Terra Blast, right? Yes, I can. So you have a lot of coverage. Already you have stuff like Surf, T-Bolt, Grass Knot is what you're running most of the time, since you are, usually going to be a special attacker. You could also go physical with this guy, and you can run stuff like Volt Tackle, Trailblaze, Play Rough, and then whatever extra move you want to tech on with your Terra Blast. Whatever thing you need. If you want some like ground coverage, or if you want some ice coverage to hit ground types, or if you want water, whatever like that, you can do it. And it's actually pretty solid. I like the Terra Water set with Lightning Rod. I think it's pretty solid in general. And obviously your stats are not too good, but you have decent speed. I mean, getting up to 16 is actually pretty solid. And some okay stats across the board. Probably see like a Life Orb on this guy a lot, because you do have one of those Life Orb HP numbers, or it's just like very low in general. And this guy is just gonna straight up die to anything. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what you go for. It's just gonna die. Like, it is what it is. This Pokemon will just die, but it's gonna do a lot of damage, and it's gonna go down swinging. This guy's super duper cute. Yeah, that's gonna be my team. So obviously there's a lot of stuff that we're missing. We're missing any hazard control at all. I mean, we have a couple Stealth Rockers, but no Remover, no Rapid Spinner, no Defogger, anything like that. We don't have Spiker. We don't have a Poison type or T-Spiker or anything like that. So we're gonna get destroyed by T-Spikes. I can already tell you guys that. We don't have a Fighting Resist at all. So no Fairy at all is also pretty tough. I know there's not that many down here. No Flying type, no Ghost. So also no normal resist at all, because we don't have a Steel type or a Rock type. A lot of stuff like that. We have no like real good way to switch into like strong waters with ice coverage. The only thing that resists that is like Mudkip, which doesn't take hits super well. I think ice types in general give my team a lot of issue. We do have like the 4 times resist with Tepig, which can be okay, but is not like the best thing for us for sure. I mean, it's a actual like solid team for sure. For my fiance picking it, who doesn't really know anything about Pokemon. I mean, a little bit. She's got TCG Pocket. She opens packs every once in a while. She knows some stuff. But for someone who doesn't know much, this is actually quite a solid team, and I can definitely work with it. We're going to have an 8-week season, and then top 8 make the playoffs. I think there's 14 teams, so it's going to be very competitive. Hopefully, we're going to be able to do a little bit better than we did last season. I know making the playoffs and being a 4 seed is like pretty good, especially for some people, but that's just not good enough for me. For me, it's like, if I don't win, I'm disappointed, which is fair. I mean, I have really high standards for myself. I've won a lot of leagues. I've beat a lot of really good people too, so I know I can do it. I just have to put in the effort. It's just gonna be a little bit harder since I just, moved into the new apartment. I just started a new job and everything. So I'm gonna be really busy, but we'll see what happens with that. I do hope you guys enjoy this entire season. I hope you guys enjoyed the draft analysis as well. Make sure you go check out all the coaches. That should be linked in the description. And week 1 against CJ will go up next week. That was a really fun match, so you guys cannot miss it. Please be sure to leave a like and yeah, subscribe so you don't miss it. Of course. That's gonna be about it for me. See you in the next one. Peace.